This MFL Marmac Coach Conversation brought to you by Birdnow Chevrolet, by Havlicek Trucking, and by Meyer Auto Service. We're with head coach Chet Bachman. And coach, so far so good. A good start to the wrestling season for you. What's pleased you the most in this early week of competition?
I think first is the numbers. We've had good numbers this year, and the kids are working, extremely hard in the room, and it's kind of showing there a little bit. So definitely the numbers been good filling the weights.
And that's such a simple thing nowadays. If you can put 14 kids in the lineup, especially with a lot of teams you compete against, you got a one up on a lot of teams when you're able to fill those weights, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. Especially in 1A when you're wrestling, probably a lot of the smaller schools, because if you can put 14 weights together, you got a heck of a chance there right out of the gate. So it really helps.
Obviously, over the last couple of years, you've had some pretty good wrestlers, pretty good state level wrestlers. Kind of reminded you a little bit of when you first turned things around with Travis Eggers and those guys about a decade plus ago. Are you seeing a little bit of that upswing with the program once again in your mind?
I would say absolutely. Everything kind of swings through your youth program and through your junior high. You grab a couple new guys there, but usually sometimes they come in waves. If you get a good group of kids coming through your youth, right now we have that. These guys have been working for many years, and then we've added some kids through our junior high, and then I actually picked up one or two just in high school to help fill a weight too. So it kind of works through an entire system there. But we've got good guys that do a good job all the way through our system, all the way through our program. I mean, the credit is to everyone that's involved, from youth to junior high to high school, and everybody that volunteers, because I couldn't do all this by myself. So absolutely, starting to see definitely the hard work in here. When you've been there and you've seen it, you can tell when you have it in the room, as far as what kind of atmosphere you have, as far as hard work goes. And right now, I would think that in the room right now, the practices have been really good.
When you talk about the guys that you pick up in high school, pretty much to fill a weight, how do you go about getting those guys in and getting them excited, knowing the fact that, hey, you know what? If you show up, you make weight, you can help us out a ton.
It's a pitch. You're sort of a salesman, coach, and you really kind of feel like a college recruiter at times, to be honest with you. But you have to do that in the off season sometimes. But one thing that I found out that really helps is just the kids in general. If you can get one of their buddies, or if you can get another high school kid to kind of recruit for you, so to speak, that helps a lot. Not all the time do they come and listen to me, that's for sure. But to get those kids to, we got a nice trophy case in our hallway, and sometimes if we win the conference, we always put a team picture in there, and sometimes you can tell the kids, hey, you want to be a part of that, you get a chance to maybe put your picture in the trophy case, or put your name up on the wall here, because I believe in that stuff. You need to recognize your teams, individuals, and everybody that has some sort of success. And I think that's been a huge success for us. But I mean, just in general, trying to get some kids to understand that, hey, you can come in the room, you can be a part of this program, and we have a fairly successful program that you can be a part of, and you can really help us and be a part of that. And for some, it may be their highlight of their high school career.
And you look at the way the world is right now, obviously, wrestling practice, I'd imagine, a little different this year as compared to years past with the health and the safety regulations. How have you had to manage that situation differently this year as compared to a non pandemic time?
Well, Darren, at first, we kind of just went off what we've been doing in the past, to be honest with you, right away. But then as we got thinking about some things, and and you started to see those numbers go up right after about the finals of football, you started to see that in the beginning of wrestling. And we just we had to make a decision, and that was everybody wears masks, and we started practicing with them. And when you do that, I did that my first night, and your practices sort of get a little challenging. So you have to organize your practices to fit the schedule of your masks, because you don't wear them the entire practice, so you kind of got to schedule your time out from what the state wants us to have them on and how long we can have them off. So you might drill with them, stretch with them on, you might hard wrestle a match or a match and a half with some live 15-second goes with them off, and then you got to get them back on. Then you take your break, and then you get them back on. Then you got to switch to something totally different. So you work on your feet with them, and you work on the technique on the bottom and top with them on, and so that's what we've been able to do, and that's been a challenge. But we're really doing well with it now and just moving right along.
And when you look at the fact that you are wrestling, you look to your north in Minnesota, they're not. Wisconsin's kind of hit and miss with some schools right now. Just having that reward of getting to compete right now, is that enough of a message to your young men to say, you know what, I'm going to do what I can to stay as healthy and safe as possible?
Absolutely, Darren. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of your shows, and we're all on the same page with being happy where we're at right now, being blessed to having been able to have a season right now. So I think we're embracing it, and I think that's just helped us all the coaches in the area say, hey, the governor, our state, they're letting us do this. Let's make sure we're doing our part. Let's make sure we're doing our part by protecting ourselves from, the virus. And I think everybody is. And I think you're starting to see even a better job of it as time's going on here.
All right, Coach. Here's to continued good success with your program and a good field of competition for the from now until the holiday break and beyond. There, we wish you best of luck. We wish you good health and another solid year of Bulldog Wrestling.
Well, thanks a lot, Darren, and thanks so much for everything that you do. You've done a great job with these Zoom meetings with all of us coaches in the area, and I really enjoyed watching them during the football season. And the credit goes a lot to you and what you're doing too. So thank you.
You taught Anderson well. I'll give you that much credit. But nonetheless, Chet
We
Bachman.
don't get as many points as him yet. So I think we had 600 points on the board. I think he's got 2,000-yard rushers. So we got a little ways to go yet, but that's been great too. So.
All right, Chet Bachman, head coach of the MFL Marmac Bulldogs. This MFL Marmac Coach Conversation brought to you by Birdnow Chevrolet, Havlicek Trucking, and Meyer Auto Service.